What's up, everyone? Aaron Schatz here, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing, and today we've got another review for you. This time it's the Avantree ANC032 Active Wireless Noise Cancelling Headphones. This is review ID 63679. You can check out this and all our reviews by going to www.aselabs.com. I'm going to save you the trouble right now. You don't really need to do that at all. All you need to do is hit that big red subscribe button below. That's it. That's all you need to do. You'll be informed of all the content as we post them. We only post videos these days, including our unboxings, reviews, 1-minute reviews, what have you. So hit that subscribe button and be informed. Now, let's get on with this review. I'm going to save you the trouble of the unboxing because basically I have laid out what is actually in the box already. You get the active noise cancelling headphones, wireless. You actually get a wire with it too, and I'll explain more about that in a little bit. It's detachable, obviously. A micro USB cable, and a little carrying case. And there was some literature in the box, but I really don't think I need to go and show you that. Now you might be asking yourself, why would you have a wire with a pair of wireless headphones? Simple, because there are certain situations where you want the actual active noise cancelling feature and you don't care about the wireless headphone capability at all. For instance, you're on a plane, and you know how a lot of the plane entertainment systems require a wire? This is where this comes into play. So remember to bring this along on trips, especially if you're in an airplane, because you just plug this thing right in here, and then you plug this side into the entertainment system, and you can actually listen to the entertainment system and have active noise cancelling on. They are independent functions. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's put this aside. Let's take a look at the actual active noise cancelling headphones themselves. As you can see, this is one of the primary reasons I purchased this product. And yes, I purchased this product. I've been using this for a few months, by the way, so I have a pretty good idea of what's going on with these things. If you'll notice, they are flat. They fold and they're flat. So this is the biggest thing that I was looking for when I wanted to buy a pair of headphones that I would bring with me on a trip. Now, obviously, these are not going to be as comfortable or sound as great as the bigger ones, the gaming headsets that I've reviewed in the past. That's not why I bought this. I bought this because I needed something to take with me on a trip. I needed active noise cancelling, and I needed for them to fold. See that? They fold, and they can lay flat in a laptop case. They also fold this way. So if I wanted to, I could break them apart like that. So they take even less space up. So when they're actually sitting in my laptop case flat, I can close my laptop. What you'll see a lot of times is headphones that do this, and I don't understand why this is a thing, because if you want to try to lay them flat, even like a carrying case like this, it's still going to take up bulk that I didn't want. I wanted them to be able to lay flat in my laptop case, and this one fits the bill. Beyond that, now let's just say that space is not really a big thing for you. Beyond that, let's go beyond that. They are leatherette cups. It's not real leather, let's be honest here. Leatherette on the top. The actual fit and feel is pretty good. So if you put them on your head, and I have them backwards, you put them on your head. So at the lowest setting, these fit my head pretty well. So I am not sure if my head is small or big. I thought I always have a huge head, right? Comment below. But these are the smallest settings right now, and these fit my head pretty well. Now you can extend these pretty far. So I have no idea whose head this will fit when it's on the extended setting like this. Like I don't understand how that's going to fit anybody. But if you have a really long head, these may fit you just fine. Let's take a look around the headphones themselves. So these are actual Bluetooth. I think they're some form of Bluetooth 4, because when you actually attach them to your phone or something, they actually give you the battery life, or the battery, yeah, I guess the battery life, right? What's left in the actual headphones themselves. For instance, if I plug this into my phone, you'll see it says 100% battery life, 80% battery life, or whatever. So one of those later versions of Bluetooth actually gives you the battery life of the wireless device you're using. In addition to the obvious headset profile and the better version of the audio profile. Like I said before, the active noise cancelling is a separate function of the headset itself. So you can actually put these on and turn on the active noise cancelling, and it's nice and quiet. So since they are independent, it means you can use the wireless part with or without the active noise canceling. You can use the active noise canceling without listening to any music, what have you. And that's pretty standard on most wireless active noise canceling headsets. Let's take a look at the controls. They're on the right ear cup. So when you put them on your head, all the controls are located on this ear cup right here. The first one is the power button. Pretty obvious what that does. If you want to sync your Bluetooth to this device, so for instance if you want to pair it, you would hold down the power button as you turn it on and keep holding it, and it goes into pairing mode. The next two buttons are volume. Volume down, volume up. That's the only buttons on this actual headset, and that's really all you need. I believe the power button does the answer call functionality, but I always don't like to use it because I always attempt to make mistakes calling. It also starts a call too, so be very careful when you're actually using the power button. Make sure you hold it down, you actually hear it turn off. It actually gives an audible tune when it turns on and off, and when it actually is going to pair on Bluetooth. The other things on the actual ear cup itself are the micro USB charging and the port for plugging in the audio cable right there. One additional thing that's located on this ear cup is the microphone. And it's interesting because if you look at this cable right here, you can see that it is a headset cable, but it's not really a headset cable, it's a headphone cable. It only has connections for the speakers themselves, not the microphone. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that's weird. Well, maybe it's not, because this might not be wired up to the actual wire that this goes into. It'll just use your phone if that's the case. And since you don't actually use these, you don't have to use these as a wireless pair of headphones, it doesn't really matter. But when you actually use them as wireless, it does work as a headset. So if you're on the phone and you're talking and you're using this to actually talk and such, it works just fine. One more thing on that right ear cup. It is the active noise canceling switch, and it is a physical switch that you have to move up or down. So it's off right now, and if you want to turn it on, now it's on, and you can see that the little light is green. And now it's off. I like that it's a physical switch rather than just one of these like soft switches, because it gives you the ability to know pretty much that it's on at a glance, and it allows you to turn it on and off independently of the wireless Bluetooth thing. And that's really important because there's a lot of times where you just want to turn this on and use this audio cable without having to need the Bluetooth functionality at all. The ear cups swivel, they rotate. This is pretty standard on most headsets these days. Again, I mentioned before that this is not going to be comparable to the gaming headsets that I've reviewed in the past. It's not the purpose of this. This is a travel pair of headphones. This is meant so you can actually take them, put them in a case, take them out, turn them on, put them on, and you're good to go. One thing that I do like about them, even though they are active noise canceling, the important part about an active noise canceling is also the passive that you get. What do I mean by passive? I mean, when I put these on, there is an effect of sound blocking already built in just due to the padding around here, just due to them resting on my ears. And that's super important when you're dealing with any kind of headphones, especially travel ones, especially when you want to block out noise. You may be asking yourself, why did I actually buy over-the-ear headphones rather than like in-ear or whatever types of headphones? Well, it's because I don't like things that go in my ear. I don't like things that you jam in your ear. I think I just don't like it. It feels, it makes my ears feel weird. And there's a lot of times when I travel, oh boy, there's a lot of times when I travel. So I'm the kind of person that when you're taking a flight and the flight's going up, no problem, my ears are fine. On descent is when I start to get headaches, my ears, really start to close in. So that pressure difference when you're actually descending down really gets me. So I have to use these things called ear planes, and they basically these things that you stick in your ear, and they slowly equalize the pressure, and they work very well. So since those are in my ears, I can't put anything else in my ears. So I have to put something over my ear for me to actually use headphones. And there you go. I just like over-the-ear headphones anyway, regardless if there's already something in my ear or not. I like them because they're comfortable. I don't have to worry about like jamming something in my ear. If I want to actually give someone else this to listen to, it's not going to be all disgusting because it was in their ear. That's really gross. The other thing I do like is that it's a lot more comfortable to me. Like, comfort is one of those things when you're listening to something for a long period of time. So I routinely, not routinely is too strong of a word, but I go to the West Coast. I live in New Jersey. You know, there's times I go to Vegas for CES or whatever. I have to go to the West Coast for a few things. You know, trade shows, what have you, work sometimes. That being said, when you're on a 5+ hour flight, having something that's comfortable is important. And having something like this that's comfortable, it's relatively breathable. It's not going to be super breathable. Whenever you have something over your ears that's trying to block out sound, obviously they're blocking it somehow by basically padding it. So every once in a while, you know, your ears might get a little hot, but that's par for the course about most things. The sound blocking that this does in a passive way is actually pretty impressive. It's on par with the HyperX headsets that I've used in the past. And it fits my ears very well. If you had overly large ears, I'm not sure that these will fit. These fit my ears very well. The passive noise canceling blocks out all of the sounds equally. So obviously, it's not the same as active. These type of active noise canceling block out low frequency sound. And that means things like airplane engines in general, like if you're taking a bus or a train, anything that's low frequency, like a hum, vibration, it'll cancel that out. It also cancels out things like body movement and stuff. So if I switch these on to active, so I don't know if you heard, but there's a fan in the background. It's my air conditioner in the house that's going. I can't hear that anymore. And in fact, I can hear all my neck creak and crack and stuff. And it gets kind of weird the first time you put that on. And then you're like, huh, what's all that sounds that my body's making? Those are sounds that were always there. You're just hearing them a lot more clear because you don't have that lower frequency to dull that sound. So once you get used to that, it's totally fine. And if I sound like I'm talking louder, it's because I have a harder time hearing myself talk with these on, especially with the noise canceling on. Now you might be asking yourself, well, why would I get active noise canceling that doesn't actually actively noise cancel all the sounds? It's because you really don't need to cancel every sound. You only really need to care about the low frequency stuff. That's the things that are fatiguing. I'll give you a short story, and it might turn into a longer story. When I'm on those flights to the West Coast that are 5+ hours long, in the past I used to get very fatigued. You know, when I used to land, I was really tired, just wanted to go, just rest and do nothing. The first time I used a pair of active noise canceling headphones, actually it was these that I bought, I was shocked when I went there and then got off the plane and I was okay. Like I landed, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. And ever since then I realized that low frequency noise was just getting to me. I don't know what it is, but it was fatiguing. It was very fatiguing. Using a pair of active noise canceling headphones is, I can't even explain the feeling. It's something that you don't realize until you go through it and you're like, huh, I guess the noise was really fatiguing. Because nowadays, when I'm on airplanes or bus rides or train rides, I use these and I don't feel nearly as fatigued as I used to feel on those long rides. There is no reason that you need to block out higher frequency sounds. So if these active noise canceling headphones block out every sound, and I believe there's headsets that actually do that, but that's not really what I was looking for. Let's face it, these are inexpensive too. They're not $300. They were $50. If they blocked out every sound, if somebody was talking to me, I'd have a harder time hearing them talk. And some people want that, and that's great. That's all good. Passively though, you're already going to get that it's going to be dampened, that sound already. Once you throw on the active, low frequency basically goes away. To me, that's really all you need. Now and again, if you're the type of person that likes, you know, dead sound, nothing going on, these are not the headphones for you because these do not block out anything that's higher frequency. So if you had these on active noise canceling and I'm talking to you, you'd be able to hear me pretty clearly because voice is much higher frequency than low frequency hums. I didn't mention that these are 3.5mm headphone jacks. So if you have a standard headphone jack, these work just fine. And 3.5mm is the standard. The other one for headsets are 2.5. You know, the ones that, like, the smaller ones that used to go in. I mean, 3.5 is the standard. So nothing to worry about there. This will fit into the standard jacks that you have everywhere. Otherwise, the other important part about these is that the sound quality is good. Now, I didn't really get them to have like really great sound quality, but this is a review and I care about the sound quality in the review. All I really cared when I bought them though is for the active noise canceling. That works fine. But let's go into how they sound. It's really hard for me to describe how they sound because I'm not an audiophile. I just know what sounds good to me or what doesn't sound good to me. So this is where the review gets very subjective. To me, these work just fine. They are a $50 pair of wireless active noise canceling headphones. I don't expect too much out of them. That being said, I was fairly impressed with the quality that you have for a $50 pair of active wireless noise canceling headphones. Good bass, not great, it was good bass, good highs, good lows, nothing great, nothing spectacular. They are not a gaming headset, and you know that as soon as you start listening to sounds, music, whatever. You know that the sound quality is not the same as putting on a good pair of gaming headphones. It's just not. And that's not what the purpose is to me. That being said, when I listen to music, I have no problem listening. Everything sounds good, and that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. These sound good. They don't sound great. They don't sound over the top. Everything sounds good. When you're listening to music and you switch on the active noise canceling, sometimes, and this happens very rarely, some of the music gets a little bit drowned out, especially on the bass part, because bass is low frequency. So if it gets too low, it starts to drown out a little bit of the music, but that happens very infrequently, and it might have something to do with the microphone actually picking up some of the audio coming out of here. So remember how active noise canceling works. It works by basically, you need a microphone, so it's listening to the surrounding sound. And what it's doing, there's an audio processor in here that says, okay, I have this sound incoming, I need to play this exact same sound out of phase so it can cancel the actual sound waves. So sound travels in waves, right? So if you have this sound wave, to cancel it, you play a wave that's slightly out of phase. So when the peaks line up, they cancel each other out. That's how active noise canceling works. The way that the active noise canceling works, though, that means that some people, I don't know, this doesn't happen to me, but I believe I've heard cases like this. Some people might get headaches using this because it is playing sound, just at a different phase than what to actually cancel it. So, you know, if your peak is here, it's playing a sound that the peak is down here, so they cancel out and become zero. But it's still playing sound to cancel that out. So some people can perceive that difference. Let's just say that, you know, the phase is slightly off, so you don't necessarily cancel each other out perfectly. That means that you might be hearing something that might be inaudible or something. People get some headaches. That's what I've read. If you get headaches, don't use active noise canceling. For the majority of people, I think active noise canceling is great. It is anti-fatiguing. I honestly don't think you need to have anything more than something like this, low frequency kind of active noise canceling. Couple that with the padding of this for the passive noise canceling, and this is really worth $50. This is a wireless Bluetooth headset. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the microphone that's on here because, let's face it, when you have a call coming in, you don't want to take off your headphones. So I've been using these for a couple months. The microphone works fine. Not good, just fine. And the reason I give this as a fine is because in noisy environments, the microphone has a tough time singling out the voice that you're actually projecting. So because the position of this, the microphone is here, it's not here. When you actually talk, it might pick up a lot of background noise. So what I've heard from people talking with me on the phone is that they hear a lot of background noise. They can still hear me, but they'd rather not hear that background noise. So the microphone is not as good as something like your phone has, where it can actually pick up your voice a lot better. So there are certain times when I'm using the headset that's, you know, the other person on the line said, can you just, you know, I still can't hear you, so then I take the headset off and actually use my phone. So that happens every once in a while, so that is something to be mindful of. If you're the type of person that's going to answer calls a lot, this is probably not the headset for you, especially in your noisy environment. It's just not as good as a better quality pair that would have multiple mics and the ability to cancel out background noise. What we're going to do right now is we're going to pair this to the phone, and I'm going to show you how this works. When you actually get this for the first time, you want to sync this, you want to pair it with your phone. So you'd hold the power button down, just keep holding it until this light turns on and starts flashing. So it's turned on now, and now you can see it's flashing red and blue, and that's good. So I'm going to pair this with the phone. Go to Bluetooth. It's already paired, so I'm just going to say connect. But if it wasn't, it would say, like, do you want to pair? And you'd say yes, and there you go. So as soon as this connects, if the phone would, you know, connect. Bluetooth, sometimes it's just really ridiculous. Alright, let's see here. Previously connected, go. Oh, you want to know why? I'm trying to connect to the wrong device. Let's choose the active device. That's better. And you see that the blinking light has stopped. It said that there's 90% battery. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to put this on and I'm going to record my voice through it. So I don't have the active noise canceling on. Let me start the voice recorder right now. Let's go to voice recorder and hit record. So I'm going to just start talking normally. You should be hearing me through the recording on the phone right now. And you might be able to hear some weirdness of the background noise, especially because the fan on the HVAC unit that I have in the house might be a little bit noisy. But right now, I'm going to switch on the active noise canceling to see if there's a difference. So 1, 2, 3. So the active noise canceling is on right now. And I'm not sure if my voice is the same volume because my voice is being subdued due to the active noise canceling, the passive noise canceling. So not sure what's actually going on. I'm not sure if you can hear the differences. I'm not sure if you could hear the background noise that's happening, but I can't anymore. And that's really great for active noise canceling. I think this test has been successfully completed, and now I'm going to turn off the active noise canceling. And I wonder if you heard the click that happened. And now I'm going to stop the recording. Good. Save it. And that's that. I just listened to the audio sample that you were just listening to that I didn't get to hear because I couldn't hear myself, obviously. And it sounds very good. Now, that is not what is going to be happening in a noisy environment. Let me just say, the fan that I have that's running right now is not as loud as like an airport where the sounds are very abrupt, they're not constant. So I'm going to warn you right now, if you buy this in a noisy environment like an airport, you might have a problem with the other person hearing you. It happens very rarely, but it does happen. So that's the caveat I'm going to say. The voice that was recorded in the previous one that I did sounds great. That is vastly different than what people tell me in a noisy environment. Again, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen, and sometimes you're going to be forced to take the headphones off and actually talk into the phone directly. Let's talk about battery life. I think there might be a slight problem with how the battery life is indicated through the Bluetooth. For instance, I have never seen this thing go below 70% battery life, even in the long flights that I've taken. So I think I've used this continuously on a 5.5-hour flight, and then there was about an hour or two of time in between that I was using this. So I think the longest amount of time that I used this for was about 7 hours, and throughout that time, that 70% stayed for about 3 hours of that time before it started to dip. So mine kept saying like, oh, you have 70% power, and I don't think that was actually the case. But I can tell you that this can at least last for 8 hours with active noise canceling, and I'm sure it could last a lot longer. I believe the specs say it can do like 18 hours of music time. I would cut that in half and say, I bet you at least 10 hours is possible with the active noise canceling and the wireless functionality of this. To me, it lasts my flights, that's all I care about. And if you needed to top it up, it takes micro USB, so you just top it up. But if you have a long flight, I think these will serve you fine. If you're the type of person that doesn't need the active noise canceling all the time, you could save a lot of battery power by basically turning off the active noise canceling. So if you're in an area that doesn't need active noise canceling, save some battery life, turn it off, listen to music, just fine. I like keeping it on because if I'm in transit, I don't want to hear any of the actual low frequency noise. Let's sum this up. This product is $50. $50. Wireless noise canceling headphones. It's $50. I got it because they were inexpensive. I wanted to give it a shot. To me, I would buy these again in a heartbeat. I bought these. They weren't sent for review, I actually bought them. To me, great purchase, and this is the type of thing where I didn't really look, I'm just looking at the features. All I cared about was that they swivel, they lay flat, they're a travel pair, that means they're light. They are very light too compared to a lot of other headsets too. All that being said, they sound good, the microphone is adequate, the active noise canceling works great. I'm going to say great because low frequency is what you actually need to cancel. The passive noise canceling works fine too. All in all, $50, good purchase. I would purchase it again. To me, that's the mark of a review. If you have a good product, I would purchase it again. There you go. Thumbs up. It's $50. If you go below in the description, I'll have links to Amazon. You can purchase this product right now. $50. I think it's very worth it. Great product, great price. I don't even know the company. I just took a gamble on it. For ASE Labs and ASE Publishing, I'm Aaron Schatz, and thank you for watching. Remember, every review, I mention the same thing. There's a subscribe button right down here. It's big, it's red. Is it still red? Pretty sure it's still red, even in the dark mode that YouTube has. You hit that, you'll be informed of all the actual content as we post them. We have 1-minute reviews of all the reviews that we do. And we might start combining the stuff. We have a lot of things upcoming that are not really that involved to review. For instance, keycaps or chargers and stuff. We might collapse that into a short form review in general. So if we have a long review, we're going to have a 1-minute review. So this one has a 1-minute review. And I'm going to link it in the description below. So if you click the description below, you'll see the 1-minute review, you see the text summary, you see everything. Everything, including the links to purchase this product. We'd love to hear from you. Please give us some feedback. And again, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.